Alright guys, picture this for a second. Kris Jenner turned 70, and instead of celebrating quietly at home, she steps into Jeff Bezos' mansion for a James Bond-style party loaded with money, power, and the kind of security that makes the place feel like its own country. A-list actors, billionaires, media giants, everyone is there. And then something unexpected happens. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry walk in. Now, Meghan and Harry don't show up anywhere without thinking 10 steps ahead. They choose their moments carefully. Earlier that night, they were on a charity red carpet supporting a major fundraiser. Then they shifted from philanthropy to pure Hollywood influence, entering Kris Jenner's world for the first time. It was the kind of crossover nobody saw coming. Photos were taken. People whispered. The internet froze for a moment. Kris posted the photos, Kim posted the photos, and in those photos, Meghan looks calm and elegant, Harry looks sharp and focused, and the Kardashians look thrilled to have them there. It felt like a moment that would live permanently on their feeds. Then something strange happens. The photos disappear. Quietly. No caption, no edit. Gone. Both Kim and Kris removed them. No explanation, no wrong lighting, no updating the post, just silence. And if you know how the Kardashians operate, you know they never delete anything that boosts their power. Kris Jenner frames wins. She archives them. She turns them into storylines. Meghan and Harry showing up to her 70th birthday should have been a badge of honor, yet that badge vanished. So the question is obvious. What went wrong? The internet jumped to jealousy theories. People said Kim felt overshadowed. Others said Meghan stole the attention. But that's too simple. This wasn't emotional. This was strategic. When two global brands collide, the issue is never ego, it's control. Here's what makes this even more interesting. That weekend mattered. In the UK, it was a period of remembrance, a time loaded with symbolism, tradition, and national emotion. And there were conversations about whether Meghan and Harry appearing at a luxury Beverly Hills party could create the wrong optics. Not just for the public, for the palace, for the relationships they're trying to repair. On the Kardashian side, the reaction may have been the complete opposite. They saw the photos as a win, proof of their reach, proof that even royals step into their circle. So when those pictures were suddenly removed, it likely felt confusing at best. This is where the two strategies clash. The Kardashian approach is simple. If you show up, you're part of the story. The Sussex approach is equally simple. Nothing involving them goes public unless they approve it. And in that conflict, the photos become a casualty. Look at the bigger pattern. For years, Kim has tried to level up her public identity. Not just influencer famous, not just Hollywood famous, something closer to institutional fame. And for a brief moment, Meghan lived in that world. Titles, global recognition, duties, expectations. Kim has always chased that aura. Meghan once wore it naturally. So when Meghan walks into Kris's birthday party, she doesn't just walk into a celebration. She walks into an intersection of power, two spheres overlapping for a moment, and then one of those spheres pulls the plug, leaving the Kardashians without the storyline they thought they secured. The deletion isn't random, it isn't petty, it's calculated. Someone wanted those photos gone. And the speed of that decision says it wasn't a misunderstanding, it was a firm boundary. It was a reminder that not everyone plays by Kardashian rules. So here we are watching a single deleted image expose a whole power dynamic between Hollywood's biggest media machine and a couple who built their identity on controlling their own narrative. A moment that should have been simple becomes something loaded with tension. And that's why this matters. Not because of one birthday party, but because that quiet little remove from grid revealed exactly how fragile and how strategic this connection really is. Let's dive back into this because there's a piece of the puzzle people forget, and it changes the entire story. Before any of this Meghan-Kim tension reached the Bezos mansion, there was something that happened years earlier, something Kim never fully shook off. A lot of people don't remember this, but Kim once flew to London with the kind of confidence only Kim Kardashian can manifest. She packed the cooter, she packed the fantasy, she packed the dream that she might slip into royal circles by pure force of will. The problem? She wasn't on any guest lists, not for the Jubilee, not for the balcony appearances, not for the private receptions. She arrived expecting a door to open and found out those doors don't open for reality TV empires. No matter how powerful she landed, she realized the Windsors don't do celebrity plus ones. And within hours, she was back on the plane before her tea even cooled. Now, this isn't about defending the royal family. You already know how I feel about them. But the humiliation of that moment that stuck with her, Kim didn't just want the dress, the trip, the palace selfies. She wanted the ascension moment. The moment where the world says, see, she made it into a space people said she never could. And when that didn't happen, something shifted. From that day forward, she carried a silent rivalry, a comparison she never said out loud, but one plenty of people around her picked up on. Because for Kim, Meghan represented something she always chased but never reached. Meghan wasn't just famous, she wasn't just glamorous. She had stepped into a world that Kim had studied from afar for more than a decade. If Meghan Markle, someone Kim had crossed paths with in Hollywood circles, could catch the eye of Prince Harry, then somewhere in Kim's mind, the question formed, why not me? Kim believed she was more glamorous, more influential, more everything. Whether that's true or not isn't the point. The important thing is that Kim thought it. And here's where this gets even deeper. Kim has always tried to reshape her image, more refined, more serious, more polished. A kind of soft royalty aesthetic layered over her original fame. But no matter how far she goes, there's one thing she still can't escape: the past that follows her everywhere. The one thing she wants the world to minimize, brush aside, or forget, but the world doesn't forget. Kim doesn't think that part of her past is as big a deal as others do. She believes she rose above it, reinvented herself, rebuilt her brand. And to be fair, she did. But there's a difference between moving on and erasing history. Kim prefers the second version, the one where she decides what still matters. Meghan, on the other hand, became a symbol of reinvention that Kim could never quite replicate. Meghan didn't rebrand, she transformed her entire life. She didn't join a dynasty because she wanted fame. She joined it because she fell in love. And the fame was a consequence, not the goal. That distinction matters. It's the thing Kim has always felt the world weaponizes against her. So when Meghan and Harry show up at Kris's birthday party, smiling, posing, relaxed, and naturally commanding attention, it taps into something old, something unresolved, not jealousy, not bitterness, but a comparison Kim never fully let go of. And that's why the deleted photos sting on both sides. Because for Kim, this wasn't just a picture, it was vindication. Proof that she stood beside the woman the world once believed outranked her in status. Proof that she could share a frame with someone who actually lived the royal life Kim fantasized about for years. And for the Sussex side, the optics mattered in an entirely different way. They weren't thinking about Hollywood rivalry. They were thinking about global perception, timing, protocol, and the narrative they've been trying to control ever since stepping back from the crown. Two women, two paths, two completely different pressures, all colliding in a single image. And that's why those photos didn't survive the night. Let's take a step back and look at this the way it actually unfolded, because none of this Meghan and Kim tension happened in a vacuum. And the more you trace it, the more obvious it becomes that Meghan ended up living the storyline Kim always believed was meant for her. Think about it. Meghan came from Hollywood. She dealt with negative press for years. She entered a world of power and hierarchy. She became an international headline, whether she wanted it or not. Everyday people had an opinion about her life, her marriage, her family, even her personality. And Kim watches all of that with a very specific kind of fascination, because Kim loves attention. Good attention, bad attention, mixed attention. It does not matter. Attention is oxygen for her. And she spent years believing she was one move away from crossing into a higher social tier, the tier where her name wasn't just famous but significant. She wanted the kind of narrative shift that turns a celebrity into a symbol. That is why the Meghan parallel stings. Meghan endured trauma, conflict, global scrutiny, and palace pressure. Kim does not care about the pain. She cares that Meghan got a storyline that came with power. So fast forward to Kris Jenner's 70th birthday bash at Jeff Bezos' mansion. Every major name was there. Every camera was on standby. Every guest knew this was the kind of night where a single photo could dominate the internet for days. And then it happened. Kim and Kris posed with Meghan and Harry. It was a perfectly engineered moment. The kind of moment Kim has dreamed of for years. American royalty meeting British royalty, power meeting influence two media empires crossing paths. That photo was supposed to be a win, but instead of going viral the way Kim expected, it disappeared completely. The posts were deleted, not archived, not reorganized, deleted. And that is when the temperature in the room changed. People saw it. People started asking questions and people started coming up with theories. But the surface level theories do not go deep enough. There are layers here. Let's go through the theories that actually make sense. First, the most obvious one, Kim deleted the photos because she was jealous. And yes, this is believable. Kim has altered reality in photos more times than anyone can count. She once removed her own child from a picture because the lighting didn't match her aesthetic. Editing the world until it fits her is not a new habit. And Meghan's natural beauty attracts attention that Kim cannot control. But this explanation feels too simple. The second theory fits much better. Kim and Kris deleted the photos because they want to look closer to the crown, not farther from it. They want the royals to see them as peers, not fans. And to pull that off, they need distance from Meghan. The palace sees Meghan as a rebel, a disruptor, a lightning rod, someone who broke the system and talked about it publicly, someone who sat with Oprah and shifted global conversations. And let's not forget, the royals once adored Oprah. They adored her until she gave Meghan the platform they hated. Let's get something straight. I don't think Kim truly dislikes Meghan. The issue isn't personal. The issue is what Meghan stepped into. Kim doesn't want Meghan's personality or Meghan's marriage. She wants the world Meghan connected herself to. The tiaras, the protocol, the idea of walking into a room and having centuries of history acknowledge your presence. That is the part Kim sees as aspirational. Not the money, not the attention, but the power that comes with centuries of inherited structure. For Kim, that is the highest level of legitimacy. The Kardashians built an empire out of influence, and Kris Jenner shaped that empire using strategy that feels more like global politics than family PR. Kris operates like she is managing a summit. She assigns roles the way world leaders assign portfolios. Kim handles fashion diplomacy, sometimes successfully, sometimes not. Khloe handles middle America because Kris knows that every empire needs a public that feels understood. Kylie targets the next generation of wealthy partners and investors. And Kourtney, well, they still have not figured out her department, so they simply rotate her in and out when needed. So when Kim and Kris deleted those photos with Meghan, it didn't feel emotional, it felt strategic. It felt like a calculated move to reposition their image in the eyes of the people they still want acceptance from. Silicon Valley billionaires accept the Kardashians, Hollywood accepts them. American wealth accepts them. But the British elite, the aristocratic circles, the old money families, they are a different story. They still treat reality stars like knockoff aristocrats. They might admire the wealth, but they never forget the origin story. And in the United Kingdom, money alone does not buy you entry. You can be wealthy in America and people call you elite. In the UK, you can be broke with the right ancestry and walk into a private event where billionaires would wait outside. Class is a currency and lineage is the only credit score that matters. Kris Jenner knows that if they ever want proximity to that world, they must appear respectable, refined, and aligned with the right side of royal politics. And that absolutely does not include Meghan. Here is where it gets even more interesting. I think Kris sees Meghan's conflict with the palace as an opportunity. On one side, Meghan is seen as a rebel who challenged a long-standing institution. On the other side, William watches everything Harry does and tries to replicate or control the narrative. If Harry meets someone new, William tries to schedule something with them the following week. The competition within the royal family is constant. Kris Jenner sees that dynamic and thinks strategically. If they position themselves correctly, they might receive an invitation to a royal event, or maybe William or Kate might appear at a high-profile charity gala in Los Angeles. This is the way Kris thinks. Every connection is a strategic relationship, every public moment is a piece on a chessboard, and every shift in royal dynamics is an opening. There is another theory quietly circulating behind the scenes, and this one shifts the spotlight toward Meghan and Harry's camp. According to several sources, the Sussex team may have wanted the photos removed. When you step back and look at their situation, the idea becomes surprisingly reasonable. Every public association for them carries weight. Every handshake, every smile, every image has political consequences. Their lives stopped being simple long ago. Everything is strategy now. For Meghan and Harry, aligning with the wrong figures risks igniting narratives they have worked for years to escape. After the royal fallout, the documentary reactions, the criticism surrounding the Spotify deal, and the constant headlines analyzing their relevance, their team remains hyper-aware of optics. A single photograph can be twisted into a story that follows them for months. A harmless pose can become fuel for commentators who thrive on misinterpretation. In that environment, even proximity to a famous American family can become complicated. The Kardashians represent a level of visibility that the British press loves to weaponize. Meghan has spent years battling headlines that reduce her to stereotypes and diminish her accomplishments. Being photographed next to a family that tabloids already treat as a symbol of American excess could easily spark recycled narratives. Their team knows this. They know how quickly the media can connect dots that were never meant to be connected. They also know how aggressively critics look for new angles to diminish the Sussexes. So the idea that Meghan's team wanted the photos taken down feels completely plausible. Not because the Kardashians are a problem on their own, but because the British media has a history of using unrelated images to create damaging stories. Their priority is defending Meghan's credibility, not expanding her social circle. They have spent years trying to rebuild a narrative that was shattered by relentless scrutiny. A single photo at a party could open the door to commentary that overshadows everything else. If this scenario is correct, then the Kardashians may have recognized an opportunity of their own. A request from the Sussexes to remove the photos would not simply be a polite favor. It could be reframed as a chance to elevate their own image. If a powerful couple feels the need to distance themselves, the Kardashians can spin that silence into strategy. They can position themselves as figures who must be taken seriously. Kris Jenner knows how publicity works better than almost anyone. She is capable of turning neutrality into advantage. From Meghan and Harry's perspective, remaining separate from that world is not personal. It is strategic. They have spent years trying to rebuild their image after years of attacks, contradictions, and royal allegations. They know how quickly the British press can twist narratives. One photo with the Kardashians, even an innocent one, could spiral into weeks of commentary about whether Meghan is returning to reality television energy or chasing celebrity validation. Their team avoids those traps at all costs. But while the Sussexes are avoiding unwanted narratives, the Kardashians seem to be gaining exactly what they wanted. Kim now gets to lean into her fantasy of being the Duchess of Calabasas, floating in designer gowns while imagining herself one polite nod away from the Windsor guest list. Kris, ever the strategist, gets to position her family 1 inch closer to aristocratic circles by appearing selective about their associations. She gets to whisper encouragement into her rosé glass at night, telling herself the royal family might actually be paying attention. If the photo was truly removed at the Sussexes' request, Kris may be using that silence as a promotional tool. It is the kind of strategic spin she has perfected for decades. A deleted image becomes a symbol of exclusivity. The absence becomes a narrative. The Kardashians get to imply that they are rising above Hollywood fame and inching towards spaces reserved for legacy and lineage. In their minds, social hierarchy is still one of the last functioning religions. Influence is worship. Attention is currency. Proximity is power. And that is where the comedy sits. Every person involved in this situation is trying to get something entirely different out of it. Meghan and Harry want protection from the scrutiny that nearly consumed their lives. The Kardashians want the approval of a world that has always kept them at arm's length. Both sides are moving in opposite directions, but the deleted photo somehow served both agendas at the same time. To Kris and Kim, removing Meghan from the grid positions them as refined, intentional, curated. To the Sussexes, removing the Kardashian connection protects their narrative from being derailed. Both families walk away believing they benefited, and everyone watching from the outside gets one more reminder that public relationships in Hollywood are rarely about connection. They are about negotiation. So the real question becomes simple. Why was the photo deleted? Was it a request from the Sussexes? Was it a calculated move by Kris? Or was it both colliding perfectly? No matter which version you choose, the result is the same. A single vanished image revealed exactly how far each side is willing to go to protect the version of themselves they want the world to see, and now it is your turn. What do you think happened behind those deleted posts? Drop your thoughts below and let's break down this mystery together.